For centuries, humans have looked toward the oceans with both wonder and fear. The sea has given us food, trade, exploration, and mysteries. Among all ocean mysteries, one name stands out more than any other: the Bermuda Triangle. A place where ships are said to vanish without warning, where planes reportedly disappear from the sky, where compasses spin, time distorts, and reality itself seems uncertain. But how much of this is true? Is the Bermuda Triangle a real danger, or one of the greatest myths ever created? Today, we separate fact from fiction. What is the Bermuda Triangle? The Bermuda Triangle is a region of the western Atlantic Ocean that has become famous for stories of mysterious disappearances. It is not an officially recognized location on any world map. There are no borders marked by governments or maritime authorities. Instead, the triangle exists mainly in books, movies, and popular imagination. Most descriptions place it between 3 points: Bermuda, Puerto Rico, and Miami, Florida. When these 3 points are connected, they form a rough triangle shape, hence the name. However, different writers define the boundaries differently, which already raises an important question. How can something be precisely dangerous if no one agrees on where it begins or ends? Why people find the Bermuda Triangle fascinating? Human beings are naturally drawn to mysteries. From ancient myths to modern conspiracy theories, we have always tried to explain the unknown, the unexplained, the frightening. The ocean is especially mysterious because over 80% of it remains unexplored. It hides storms, deep trenches, and powerful currents. When accidents happen at sea, evidence is often lost forever. This makes the ocean the perfect setting for legends to grow. The Bermuda Triangle combines real accidents, incomplete information, fear of the unknown, and creative storytelling. Together, these elements create a powerful myth. The origin of the name Bermuda Triangle. Surprisingly, the term Bermuda Triangle is quite recent. It did not come from ancient sailors. It did not come from Christopher Columbus. It did not come from naval records. The name first appeared in 1964 when writer Vincent Gaddis used it in a magazine article. Later, in 1974, author Charles Berlitz published a best-selling book titled The Bermuda Triangle. This book claimed supernatural forces were at work, suggested alien involvement, ignored many scientific explanations. It became extremely popular, and with popularity came belief. How stories became facts. Many Bermuda Triangle stories follow the same pattern. 1. A ship or plane is lost. 2. Details are exaggerated. 3. Normal explanations are ignored. 4. Supernatural ideas are added. 5. The story is repeated until it sounds factual. Over time, missing ships become vanished without a trace. Weather incidents become sudden supernatural storms. Human errors become unknown forces. This process is known as myth amplification. To understand why so many accidents happened in this region, we must look at history. Early sailors had no GPS, had inaccurate maps, relied on stars and basic compasses. Problems they faced included magnetic variation, compasses pointing slightly off true north, strong ocean currents, sudden storms, and poor communication. The Bermuda Triangle region sits near the Gulf Stream, a powerful ocean current, tropical storm zones, and busy trade routes. This made accidents more likely, not mysterious. Some claim Christopher Columbus experienced strange events in the Bermuda Triangle. What his actual logs describe: a strange light in the sky, likely a meteor, compass readings that confused his crew. What modern science explains: compass variation was not understood at the time. The strange light fits known natural phenomena. No supernatural claims were made by Columbus himself. Why the area is so busy? Another overlooked fact: the Bermuda Triangle covers one of the most heavily traveled sea and air routes in the world. This means more ships and planes pass through, more accidents are statistically likely, more stories are created. If accidents were truly supernatural, this area would be avoided, but it isn't. The Bermuda Triangle did not begin as a mystery. It became one through storytelling, fear, and misunderstanding. When we hear stories about the Bermuda Triangle, many of them begin with the phrase, "since ancient times." This makes the mystery sound old, powerful, and undeniable. But when we look closely at history, we discover something surprising. Ancient sailors did not describe the Bermuda Triangle as a cursed or supernatural place. Most of the frightening stories were created much later, often by writers who misunderstood or ignored historical records. To understand how these myths formed, we must examine early navigation, old ship logs, and the limitations of human knowledge at the time. The reality of early ocean travel. Before modern technology, traveling across the ocean was extremely dangerous, everywhere, not just in the Bermuda Triangle region. Sailors faced inaccurate maps, limited knowledge of ocean currents, unpredictable weather, and no way to communicate once at sea. A ship that failed to return often left no evidence at all. When no explanation was available, imagination filled the gap. Navigation tools, simple and unreliable. Early navigators relied on the stars, the sun, and basic compasses. Each of these methods had serious flaws. Compasses and magnetic confusion. Compasses do not point to true north. They point to magnetic north, which shifts over time. In the past, sailors did not understand magnetic variation. Compasses appeared to give wrong readings. Crews believed their instruments were broken. In reality, the Earth's magnetic field was behaving normally. Why the Atlantic was especially dangerous. The Atlantic Ocean, especially the area now called the Bermuda Triangle, was one of the most heavily traveled regions in the world. It connected Europe, Africa, and the Americas. With high traffic came higher risk. Additionally, the region contains shallow reefs, strong currents, and sudden storms. Hurricanes during certain seasons. Many ships were lost simply because they struck reefs or were caught in storms. Christopher Columbus, what he actually reported. Christopher Columbus is often mentioned in Bermuda Triangle legends. Some claim he experienced mysterious lights, failing compasses, strange ocean behavior. Let's examine what his logs truly say. The strange light. Columbus described seeing a glowing light rising from the horizon. Modern explanations include a meteor entering the atmosphere, bioluminescent organisms, reflections from distant shorelines. Columbus himself did not describe this as supernatural. Compass readings explained. Columbus noticed that his compass readings changed. This was not a malfunction. It was an early observation of magnetic declination, which was unknown at the time. Instead of panic, Columbus calmly recorded it. The power of retelling stories. Centuries later, writers removed context,
added dramatic language, ignored scientific explanations. A simple observation became a dangerous magical force. Ship logs versus popular books. When historians compare original ship logs and modern Bermuda Triangle books, they find major differences. Popular books often omit bad weather reports, change timelines, combine separate events into one story, suggest disappearances that never happened. This creates the illusion of mystery. The role of storms. Tropical storms and hurricanes have always existed. Before weather forecasting, sailors had no warning. Storms appeared sudden and violent. Ships could be destroyed quickly. Wreckage often sank or drifted far away. Without debris,
People assumed something strange occurred. Human error at sea. One of the most common causes of maritime accidents is human error. This includes misreading instruments, navigational mistakes, fatigue, poor decision-making. In early voyages, crews were often exhausted, undertrained, working in dangerous conditions. Mistakes were inevitable. The myth of disappearing without a trace. Many stories claim ships vanished with no evidence. In reality, wood ships sank and decayed. Metal corroded quickly. Strong currents carried wreckage away. The Gulf Stream, a powerful ocean current, can move debris hundreds of miles in days. What looks like a mystery is often simple physics. Why records are incomplete. Historical records are often lost, damaged, inaccurate, written long after events occurred. Some missing ships were never officially recorded, were reported lost in different locations, returned safely but were misreported. Yet these ships still appear in Bermuda Triangle lists. The problem of selective storytelling. Writers focused only on accidents, losses, tragedies. They ignored thousands of successful voyages, routine travel through the same area. This creates confirmation bias, noticing only what supports the myth. Why people believed these stories. Fear spreads faster than facts. In the past, people trusted storytellers. Few could verify information. Books and newspapers shaped belief. Once the idea of a dangerous triangle existed, every accident reinforced it. Early sailors did not encounter supernatural forces. They faced dangerous seas, limited technology, natural phenomena they could not yet explain. No discussion of the Bermuda Triangle is complete without examining the stories that made it famous. These are the cases most often mentioned. Ships said to vanish without warning. Planes that never returned. Crews allegedly lost without explanation. But fame does not equal accuracy. In this section, we will examine the most well-known Bermuda Triangle disappearances, carefully separating what is documented, what is assumed, what is fiction. Why famous cases matter. Famous cases are powerful because they are repeated often. They sound dramatic. They feel mysterious. However, repetition does not make a story true. Each case must be examined using official records, weather reports, navigation data, logical reasoning. Case 1, Flight 19, the most famous story. What was Flight 19? Flight 19 was a U.S. Navy training mission that took place on December 5, 1945. It involved 5 small military aircraft, student pilots, a routine navigation exercise. They took off from Florida and were expected to return the same day. What the myth claims. According to popular Bermuda Triangle stories, compasses stopped working. Pilots became confused for no reason. The planes vanished suddenly. No wreckage was ever found. These claims sound frightening, but they leave out important facts. What the evidence shows. Official Navy records reveal the flight leader became disoriented. He believed he was over the Florida Keys when he was not. Weather conditions worsened as time passed. Fuel levels ran low. Radio transcripts show confusion, not panic. The pilots were trying to solve a navigation problem, not reacting to anything supernatural. What happened to the planes? The most likely explanation: the planes ran out of fuel, they went down in rough seas, strong currents scattered debris. The ocean in that area is very deep, making wreckage locating difficult. What about the rescue aircraft? A rescue aircraft was sent to look for Flight 19. It also disappeared, a detail often used to support the myth. However, that type of aircraft had a history of fuel vapor issues. Witnesses reported seeing an explosion in the sky. This matches known mechanical problems. There is no evidence of shared mysterious cause. Case 2. USS Cyclops, the largest loss. What was the USS Cyclops? The USS Cyclops was a large U.S. Navy cargo ship that disappeared in 1918. It was carrying supplies, crew members, heavy cargo. It was traveling from Brazil to the United States. The myth version. Popular accounts claim the ship sent no distress signal, the weather was calm, it vanished instantly, no wreckage was found. This has led to speculation about supernatural forces, sabotage, unknown phenomena. What records actually say? Historical evidence reveals the ship was overloaded, one engine was not working properly, structural problems had been reported, weather conditions were uncertain, not calm. At the time, communication technology was limited, distress signals were not always possible. Why wreckage was never found? The ship likely broke apart in deep water, sank quickly, was scattered by strong currents. Even today, many shipwrecks remain undiscovered. The lack of wreckage does not mean mystery, it means depth and time. Case 3. The Star Tiger and Star Ariel. These were commercial passenger planes that disappeared in the late 1940s. They were flying routes near the Bermuda Triangle. What the myth says: both planes vanished in good weather. No radio warnings were sent. No debris was found. Something unknown caused the loss. What investigations found? At the time, aircraft technology was still developing, weather forecasting was limited, navigation relied heavily on human judgment. Possible explanations include sudden weather changes, navigation errors, mechanical failure. No evidence supports supernatural causes. Case 4. Smaller ships and exaggerated claims. Many lists of Bermuda Triangle incidents include ships that were later found, ships that sank elsewhere, ships that were never lost at all. In some cases, dates were incorrect, locations were changed, names were misreported. This shows how easily misinformation spreads. The illusion of pattern. When accidents are grouped together, they appear meaningful, but this is a psychological effect. The Bermuda Triangle covers a huge area with heavy traffic, frequent storms, complex currents. Accidents are statistically expected. Why disappearances sound more mysterious than they are? Several factors increase mystery. The ocean hides evidence. Records are incomplete. Survivors may not exist to tell the story. Time exaggerates events. Mystery grows when answers are not immediate. What insurance and shipping data reveal? Insurance companies track risk carefully. They do not charge higher rates for the Bermuda Triangle, consider it more dangerous than other regions. This alone suggests there is no unusual threat. The role of media and sensationalism. Movies, books, and documentaries often focus on the most dramatic details, ignore scientific explanations, present speculation as fact. This keeps the legend alive. The most famous Bermuda Triangle disappearances have logical explanations, occurred in known dangerous conditions, were exaggerated over time. No verified case requires a supernatural cause. For decades, the Bermuda Triangle has been described as a place beyond science, a region where natural laws fail. But when scientists began studying the area carefully, they found something very different. The Bermuda Triangle is not ruled by mystery, it is ruled by nature. In this section, we explore the real scientific forces that explain nearly every incident associated with the Bermuda Triangle. Weather, the most powerful factor. Weather is the single most important explanation. The Bermuda Triangle sits in a region where warm tropical air meets cooler air. Storms can form quickly. Weather patterns change fast. Before modern forecasting, this made travel extremely dangerous. Tropical storms and hurricanes. Hurricanes often form in the Atlantic Ocean. These storms can grow rapidly, produce violent winds, create towering waves. Early sailors and pilots had little warning, could not avoid storms, often underestimated their strength. A storm that seems sudden today was nearly invisible in the past. Rogue waves, explained simply. Rogue waves are exceptionally large ocean waves, much higher than surrounding waves, capable of damaging large ships. They were once considered myths until scientists confirmed they are real. In open ocean areas like the Bermuda Triangle, rogue waves are more likely. Ships can be overwhelmed quickly. Evidence can disappear beneath the sea. Ocean currents, the hidden movers. The Atlantic Ocean is not still. It is constantly moving. The Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream is a powerful ocean current that flows through the Bermuda Triangle region. It moves warm water quickly, can reach speeds faster than a walking person, carries debris far from accident sites. This explains why wreckage is rarely found where accidents happen. Debris may appear hundreds of miles away or not at all. The current hides evidence, creating mystery. Magnetism, a misunderstood force. One of the most common Bermuda Triangle claims involves compasses behaving strangely. Let's explain why. Magnetic north versus true north. There are two types of north. True north, geographic north, magnetic north, where compasses point. They are not the same. The difference between them is called magnetic declination. Why this confused early navigators? In the past, sailors did not know about declination. Compass errors were not corrected. Navigation errors accumulated. The Bermuda Triangle lies near areas where declination is small, but not zero. Small errors over long distances lead to big mistakes. Do compasses fail in the Bermuda Triangle? No. There is no evidence that compasses malfunction uniquely in this region. Modern ships and aircraft pass through safely every day. Human error, the most common cause. Even with good equipment, humans make mistakes. In earlier times, crews were less trained. Fatigue was common. Pressure led to poor decisions. Common navigation errors. These include misreading charts, incorrect speed estimates, misjudging weather, overconfidence. Once a small mistake is made, it grows. Stress and decision-making. When people are lost, stress increases, thinking becomes less clear, errors multiply. This explains confused radio messages in cases like Flight 19. Aircraft technology limitations. Early aircraft had limited fuel, had basic instruments, and relied heavily on visual cues. Over water, these cues disappear. Without landmarks, orientation is difficult. Direction becomes uncertain. This leads to navigational drift. The role of depth and geography. The ocean floor in the Bermuda Triangle region is very deep, uneven, and difficult to explore. This makes recovery of wreckage difficult, investigation slow or impossible. Depth explains the lack of evidence, not mystery. Gas release theories, why they don't hold up. Some claim gas bubbles from the ocean floor cause ships to sink. While gas releases exist in some places, there is no evidence of dangerous levels in this region. No modern accidents support this theory. Science does not support this explanation. Why modern travel is safe. Today, satellites track weather. GPS provides accurate navigation. Communication is constant. As a result, accidents are rare. Disappearances are investigated quickly. Myths fade when facts are available. What scientists agree on. Scientific consensus is clear. The Bermuda Triangle is not unusually dangerous. Natural explanations account for incidents. There is no evidence of supernatural forces. Science does not erase wonder. It replaces fear with understanding. If science explains the Bermuda Triangle so clearly, one question remains. Why do so many people still believe it is mysterious? The answer lies not in the ocean, but in stories. In this part, we explore how myths, legends, and popular culture transformed ordinary events into one of the most famous mysteries in the world. How myths begin. Most myths begin with a real event, missing information, and emotional reactions. When facts are incomplete, imagination fills the gaps. In the case of the Bermuda Triangle, ships were lost, planes crashed, explanations were unclear. This created the perfect environment for storytelling. The power of storytelling. Humans have always used stories to explain danger, teach lessons, and create meaning. A dramatic story is more memorable than a boring fact. So when writers described sudden disappearances, silent skies, cursed waters, those images stayed in people's minds. The role of best-selling books. The Bermuda Triangle became famous largely because of books.
Kindly subscribe, like, comment, share this video, and turn on the notification bell for part 2 of the video, the full documentary on Bermuda Triangle.